Welcome to the Faraday Lectures, brief introduction to chemistry. During this program, you're going to learn a little bit about the periodic table, the atom, elements, compounds, and chemical bonds. So let's get started. The periodic table is an organized list of all known elements. And here you can see a picture of it. These are all of the elements currently known to science. For example, H stands for hydrogen, and that's the lightest, smallest element on the periodic table. He is helium. That's the next smallest. Li is lithium. Then beryllium, and boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Probably a lot of these you've heard of. But what are elements? Elements are pure substances that have only one kind of atom in them. In other words, if you had a balloon filled with hydrogen, H, the very first element on the periodic table, that would mean that in that balloon, all of the atoms are exactly the same, and they are all hydrogen atoms. What are some other elements on this table? Iron is an element. Oxygen is an element. Uranium, like in atomic bombs and nuclear reactors, is an element. Sodium, it's bad for your blood pressure, but it's in salt. And silver and gold, those are all elements. That means that if you have a ring that is pure gold, that would mean that all of the atoms in that ring are exactly the same. But what makes two or more atoms the same or different? Well, here's a picture of an artist's representation of an atom. What makes that atom like other atoms or different from other atoms? Well, it comes down to the stuff inside them. The atoms have three kinds of particles called protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons and neutrons are in the middle. They're in something called the nucleus, right over here. Protons and neutrons are in the middle in this area called the nucleus of the atom. While these other guys around here are on the outside, they're called electrons. The protons and neutrons in the middle, they are stuck. They usually can't move around and they stay in the atom for good unless something really unusual happens. But the electrons are flying around the outside, and sometimes they can even get caught by another atom or substance and get pulled away, or at least grabbed and held on to. We asked before, what makes this atom like another atom? It's not the electrons, and it's not really the neutrons, it's the protons. Two atoms are the same if they have the same number of protons.